There is a strange habit that almost every self-made millionaire shares, and it has nothing to do with money, stocks, or luck. It is something so small, so quiet, that most people walk right past it every single day of their lives. And once you understand what it actually is, you will start noticing it everywhere. In the people who win, and in the absence of it, in the people who stay stuck forever. But here is what most people never realize. This habit is not taught in school. It is not talked about on the news. It is passed down quietly, almost like a secret, from one successful person to the next. And by the end of this video, you are going to see exactly why the richest, most self-made people on earth all move through life the same way, while everyone else keeps spinning in circles. If you are serious about understanding how wealthy people actually think, take a second right now to like this video and subscribe, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you see your own life. Let's start with a man named Daniel. Daniel was not born into money. He grew up in a small apartment, sharing a room with his younger brother, watching his parents argue about bills at the kitchen table almost every week. By the time Daniel was 25, he had a decent job, a decent apartment, and a decent life. Decent. That word followed him everywhere. He told himself he was working hard, and in a way, he was. He showed up to work every day. He watched videos about success. He even bought a few books on wealth building that sat on his shelf, half read. But nothing changed. Year after year, Daniel stayed in the exact same financial position, wondering why some people seemed to break through while he stayed frozen in place. Here is where things get interesting. Daniel was not lazy. He was not unintelligent. He was missing one silent habit that almost nobody talks about, and that single gap was quietly costing him everything. The habit is this. Self-made millionaires protect their attention like it is the most valuable asset they own, because it is. Most people protect their money carefully, but they let their attention get stolen all day long by notifications, by gossip, by distractions, by other people's opinions. And here is the part that changes everything. Where your attention goes, your energy goes. Where your energy goes, your actions go. And where your actions go, your entire life goes. Self-made millionaires understand something on a deep level, something most people never stop to consider. Every single day, you are either investing your attention into something that builds your future, or you are spending it on something that builds someone else's. There is no neutral option. The clock is always running. Think about the difference between two types of people. One person scrolls for hours, consuming information about success, feeling inspired for a moment, then forgetting it by dinner time. The other person consumes far less, but immediately applies what they learn, turning information into action before the feeling fades. This is the real difference between consumers and creators. Consumers absorb, creators build. And wealth, real wealth, is built by people who treat their attention like a locked vault, only opening it for things that move them forward. But that is not the most important part. The real shift happens somewhere deeper, inside the mind, in a place most people are too afraid to look. Let's go back to Daniel for a moment. One evening, exhausted after another day that felt like nothing had moved forward, Daniel sat down and did something uncomfortable. He tracked, honestly, where every hour of his day actually went. Not what he thought he was doing, what he was actually doing. And what he found shocked him. Nearly 4 hours a day, gone, spent on things he could not even remember by the next morning. 4 hours a day, nearly 30 hours a week, more than 1,000 hours a year, vanished into nothing. Daniel sat there in silence, and for the first time, he did not feel motivated. He felt something more powerful. He felt the fear of regret. He realized that if he kept living this way for another 10 years, he would wake up one day exactly where he started, just older. That moment was his realization. And realization alone changes nothing. but it is the doorway everything else walks through. The next day, Daniel made one small decision. He did not overhaul his entire life. He did not quit his job or make some dramatic announcement. He simply decided to protect the first 90 minutes of every morning, refusing to touch his phone, refusing to check messages, using that time only to work on one skill that could eventually build his future. That is it. 90 minutes. It sounds small. It sounds almost too simple to matter. But here is the psychology behind it. And once you understand this, you will never look at small habits the same way again. Human beings do not become who they are through massive, dramatic moments. We become who we are through repeated identity-confirming actions. Every time you protect your attention and use it on purpose, you send yourself a quiet message. I am someone who builds. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who takes ownership. And every time you let your attention get stolen, you send yourself the opposite message. I am someone who gets distracted. I am someone who reacts instead of thinks. Over months and years, these small messages compound into your actual identity. This is not motivation. This is identity construction, one decision at a time. And self-made millionaires, whether they can explain it in these exact words or not, understand this on an instinctive level. They are not managing their money first. They are managing their identity first, and the money follows the identity. Let's talk about someone real, someone history remembers. Before he became one of the most recognized investors in the world, Warren Buffett was known, even as a young man, for something unusual. He guarded his schedule with an almost obsessive discipline, keeping his calendar nearly empty, refusing to fill his days with constant meetings and noise the way most ambitious people do. Many people assumed this meant he was not busy enough, not hungry enough, but the truth was the opposite. He understood something most people never grasp. Thinking clearly requires space, and space requires protection. He treated his attention with the same seriousness other people treat their bank accounts, because he understood that clear thinking, protected and undistracted, was the actual engine behind every major decision he ever made. Most people never notice this. They assume wealth comes from constant motion. But motion and progress are not the same thing. A person can be busy every single hour of the day and still be moving nowhere, spinning the wheels, generating noise instead of results. Progress requires direction. Motion without direction is just exhaustion wearing a costume. Now here is a question worth sitting with for a second. If you tracked your own day honestly, the way Daniel did, what would you actually find? How many hours would be spent building the life you say you want, and how many would be spent avoiding it? This is not meant to make you feel bad. It is meant to make you feel awake. Drop a comment below and be honest with yourself. How many hours a day do you think you are actually giving to your future? Because most people are shocked once they actually look. Awareness is uncomfortable, but comfort has never built anything of value in the history of the world. Let's return to Daniel one more time because his story is not finished. Those 90 protected minutes a day slowly turned into something bigger. Within a year, he had built a small skill into a small side income. Within 3 years, that side income quietly grew past his full-time salary. It did not happen through some overnight miracle. It happened because every single day he made one decision that most people never make. He chose to protect his attention before the world had a chance to steal it. And here is the psychology behind why this works so powerfully. Discipline is not about massive willpower. Discipline is about removing decisions. Daniel did not rely on motivation every morning. He built a structure so simple that showing up became automatic. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Systems are permanent. Self-made millionaires do not wait to feel ready. They build systems so strong that readiness becomes irrelevant. This brings us to the deeper truth hiding underneath everything we have talked about so far. Average people wait for confidence before they take action. Successful people take action, and confidence arrives afterward as a result. This single reversal, action before confidence instead of confidence before action, might be the most important psychological shift a person can ever make. Think about the last time you felt truly proud of yourself. It almost certainly happened after you did something difficult, not before. Confidence is not a gift you receive. It is a residue left behind by action. And self-made millionaires build their entire lives around this one reversal, again and again, in every area of their life. If this video is making you think differently, even just a little, share it with someone in your life who needs to hear this today. Because sometimes, the right words at the right moment can completely shift the direction of someone's entire future. You never know whose life you might change with a single share. Let's bring this all together now, because there is one final piece that ties everything back to where we started. The silent habit we have been talking about this entire time, protecting your attention like it is your most valuable asset, is not really about time management. It is about self-respect. Every time you protect your focus, you are telling yourself that your future matters enough to defend. Every time you let it slip away carelessly, you are telling yourself the opposite, even if you never say those words out loud. Self-made millionaires are not smarter than everyone else. They are not luckier than everyone else. They simply made a decision, often a quiet one, often an unnoticed one, to stop spending their most valuable resource carelessly and to start investing it on purpose. You now know something most people will never take the time to understand. Wealth does not begin with money. It begins with attention, protected and pointed in one direction, repeated daily until it becomes identity. You are not someone who reacts to whatever grabs your focus anymore. You are someone who decides, on purpose, where your energy goes. That single shift, small as it seems today, is exactly how ordinary people quietly become extraordinary. Protect your attention like your future depends on it, because it does. And from this moment forward, that is exactly the kind of person you are choosing to become.